Okay, today's video is on awareness of your eating disorder and all the different ways that it's impacted your life, and especially like your day-to-day life. So I want you to, and I remember doing this kind of mental exercise in my own recovery, and it was pretty eye-opening to see how many of my decisions all throughout the day were geared towards catering to my eating disorder, were geared towards preventing weight gain. We're geared towards trying to figure out how I can move my body more and essentially eat less. So I want you to ask yourself, in the last hour, from the time you're watching this video, this hour prior to this moment, how did your eating disorder impact your decisions? So go back and ask yourself, okay, an hour ago, let's see, around an hour ago, I was doing X, Y, and Z. And kind of like mentally walk yourself through that last hour with the question in mind: how did my eating disorder dictate any of those decisions in the last hour? When I did that, it was like, even to the point of like where I parked when I went and ran errands, or the way in which that I started in a store, which side I would start in so I could get more steps. The puttering around my house, trying to delay, actually just going in the kitchen and eating lunch because I didn't feel like it was time yet. And I would do this at random times in the day over the course of several days, just be like, okay, the last hour, how was my eating disorder influencing my decisions? And I really had a hard time prior to recovery and at those beginning stages being able to say that I did almost anything without my eating disorder ruling or dictating what I was doing. Even things that seemed completely completely separate or completely unrelated to my eating disorder still were impacted by my eating disorder. And so if you can become aware of how prevalent your eating disorder thoughts are, and because of those thoughts, your actions are, well, now you have something to work with. Now you can see, okay, here is my outline of the things that I need to start addressing. Here are things that are major pitfalls, major problems that I didn't even realize were going on. Because yes, okay, fine, when I'm faced with food and I'm in recovery and I know I'm supposed to be eating unrestrictedly, then, I do eat. Yes, okay. But what are those tiny little very sneaky forms of restriction, or forms of which will look like forms of restriction will look like delaying meals, busying yourself with things around the house that you don't actually really need to do. Like I said, looking for ways to move that aren't formal exercise or walks. So, like going to the store is like the perfect solution for my eating disorder, but also so I can check all the boxes saying I didn't go on a walk today. Do you see how that decision was impacted by your eating disorder though? And so I want you to do that. If you're listening to this video, when this is over, ask yourself, okay, the last hour, what did my life look like? What was I doing today in that last hour? And how did my eting disorder impact it? Now, if you go back, if you're in proper recovery and you go back and do this, you're like, wow, actually, like, I'm crushing it. Sorry, Hazel's a little loud today. But if you're doing this exercise and you're going back and you're asking, okay, let's see, an hour ago, like I thought I wanted to eat lunch. It was only 11 o'clock in the morning. And I was tempted not to, but I actually did. I went ahead and I ate lunch because I knew that I wanted to eat then and I didn't care that it was earlier, or I needed to not care that it was earlier. So I did it anyways. And then I had a sandwich and I really wanted another sandwich, so I went ahead and had a second one. Like, you might really enjoy this mental exercise. If you're fully committed to recovery and you are like really going for it, you might be able to give yourself a big pat on the back and be like, wow, I'm really turning things around. But if you do this and you're realizing, yikes, I am in recovery, but there are so many things I'm still doing. I'm giving in so much to my eating disorder, intentionally, but even unintentionally, that I didn't even realize, because it's just kind of your natural default mode, your autopilot. It's just, you don't even question some of the things you're doing because you've been doing them for so long. This is going to help you to be able to spot those, identify them, and then come up with a plan as to how you're going to overcome them and how you're going to change them so that you are always geared towards full recovery. You're geared towards rewiring your brain all day long, every single day, for a long time, okay? Until you get to that place where you are fully free. And you can go back and you could ask me what I did in the last hour, and I'd be like, this and this and this and not one single thing was impacted by an eating disorder thought. Okay, so you want to get to that point. So that's my message to you today. Hope you have a fabulous weekend, and I will talk to you next week. Bye.